because I was such a late developer. It's almost like, I think in the spaces of like year 2, I was at the very bottom. Like, you know those kids that get taken out?
Did you know you were at the bottom? 'Cause I didn't know at the bottom. I only clocked it in year 6.
Nah, I knew
When
it.
I saw the person picking, I saw one of my friends picking his nose. I was looking at it, I just realised my best friend was on the table with the popular kids. And I started to realize the colour codes were actually were demarcation of intelligence. I didn't know that at 10
No,
years
but
old.
you know, because you know what it is? I think I was always cool with like the popular guys because we were on the sports thing. And then obviously I was looking around and I was thinking like, nah, these guys ain't the guys like that. I remember from young, I was like, I don't know what's off, yeah. But and then when they used to take certain kids out and like, you know, we had some kids who they were like, some of them I do think had learning like ADHD or whatever, but I think some just the IQ, like even to now, I just don't think it's really levels.
It's real.
I just don't think that really. So when I'm getting taken up, they used to take like 4 out of a class of 30, and every time I'm getting taken up, like bruv, like this is kind of mad. Like why am I getting taken out every time?
You know what? I hear it. In hindsight, I never peaked at the time, innit? But like,
Can you relate to this, Eddie?
See me now, I was always like, I'm a loud person, innit?
Okay.
In school, everybody wanted to be around me. Plus, the way my school
Oh, he was that guy.
I was that guy. Because you see, the way my school worked was that my estate was next to the school. So all the man from my estate went to my school. So it was always like my estate ran the school. So from the time I was in year 7, I was known from year 7 to year 11. Because these men were getting me to fight the year 11s. And through that, everybody knows, oh, yeah, that's Eddie. You get me? Like, all of that used to happen. So then it's a thing where, because you're always around the popular groups, you never question anything. And it's like, when you're getting pulled out,
You're like, come. Yeah.
and then you see the people that you're sitting with, and like you said, it's the man that picked the boogers. Yeah. It's the man that have the mad holy crap. The man that stink in the blazers.
No, I had one guy. He used to shit on himself.
There you go.
And I just saw that card. I was like, Rod, this
I'm in the wrong place, bro. I'm in the wrong place. Nah. For me, I had. Well, I had dyslexia back then, innit? I never wanted to tell myself that I had it, but I had it. You know? Like my reading age was bare low and all that kind of stuff. But I just thought that was, now in hindsight, I think it was down to the way education kind of played out, because my reading age was bad. It was one of those ones where, you know, when they call you up in English class, you have to read them, they're starring that kind of So that just made me act even worse. But then what got my reading age above where it needed, like they were shocked how much I managed to change in that time span, because at the time, I used to love anime, and I always used to watch it dubbed. And then it got to the stage where I can't watch it dubbed no more, so I need to move on to subbed. And I was like, but I can't keep up and read. So I said, fuck this. I'm just gonna force myself to catch up. And without even knowing it, my reading just improved exponentially. But then I just thought to myself, you lot just aren't teaching us right, because that should have been something you picked up on. It's not a case where you be pulled out for whatever reason and made me feel like a dickhead. It's a case where you're just not teaching me the way I need to.
And shame is a big thing. Shame, I think, is what affects a lot of us, especially if you're black or you're of colour, because you're not understanding that you've got additional needs in that way.
Yeah, they told my dad. My dad says, no, he's not. He's normal.
Yeah,
like, no, he's not.
That's
he doesn't have anything.
My parents also play an important part, because Africans or Nigerian parents, they don't understand these things. Like, what is dyslexia to them? It's just like, you're just stupid. And I'm going to make sure you're smart.
So by fight by force, you must learn and you must read.
But it does work. So I do remember that we had this like massive spell. And this one, I think this is the pivotal point in my life where I realized how important education is, because I never felt intelligent up until this point. There was a massive spelling bee. So made the entire year do 100 spelling, a test of 100 words, yeah. And I got 3 out of 100. And then somehow my mum found it in my bag. Said, what is this? I was not allowed to leave the yard until I got every one of those spellings right. Yeah, all 100. And I remember I was grounded. I did it. I got to the point where I learned all 100 of the spelling. And then the actual spelling competition came up in the assembly hall. And it got to the semi-finals. And I was still whispering to the next person, this is how you spell the word. And they're like, "Rah, why are you up there?" Then I said, like, I got it wrong on purpose, man. I ain't a dick. I ain't trying to get on stage to be spelling. But I just thought, like, like, intelligence is actually respected. Being a class clown, it's all well and good when people want to be around you, but then it goes further than that. And that feeling of people like, like, yo, you know all these words? Like, yo, that's when I thought, oh, this is actually proper. And then from that point, my relationship with education just changed.